Do you see a Chanakya-like person in today's life? Or he was extraordinarily gifted?
So you talk about the Chanakya, which I have written books on.
So amongst the Dharma, Arth, Kam and Moksha, okay, the four that Shastras talk about, you are saying Chanakya was a combination of Dharma and Artha.
We have the same eyes, hair, eyebrows, but nobody is same. Even identical twins may not be same. There will be something the mother knows, ye alag hai. So what I am saying, the nature doesn't like equality. Okay, this is what I don't want to do, and you will reach okay. Everything I don't want to do, but somewhere I'm happy being an artist. Now start doing the other way. What are the things that make you happy? Okay, when I play the flute or when I listen to music, then again go into detail. Okay, so there is an artist in you who is a musician. So please understand.
Hello and welcome everyone to AUM Finance Podcast. This podcast discusses the first principles of investing and is for informational purpose only. We intend to add to the body of knowledge. Please consult your financial advisor before taking any investing decision.
Now, what is Chanakya? Define Chanakya. What is he? What phenomena he was? Do you see a Chanakya-like person in today's life? Or he was extraordinarily gifted?
So you talk about the Chanakya, which I have written books on. He was a Yuga Purush.
Yug Purush.
So what happened? They are very rare birth, and they are supposed to be born for certain big work. And certain people cannot come back again and again.
So he was Bharat's destiny.
Absolutely. In fact, he made India the richest country in the world. So when we listen to songs and statements like, Bharat Sone ki chidiya thi. Kyun tha? Why was India the richest country in the world? Because of Chanakya. And the reference is there in Arthashastra. There is a process, there is a method also. Now coming back, the Chanakya is known for creating around, I would say, turn around India's destination to become the richest part of the world based on knowledge. So I would say Artha and Dharma combination is Chanakya.
So amongst the Dharma, Arth, Kam and Moksha, okay, the four that Shastras talk about, you are saying Chanakya was a combination of Dharma and Artha.
And
so
Kama
Artha
also.
and
Kama also.
Kama also. Oh.
So without money you can't fulfill your desires, right?
Yes. Okay. And Arth without Dharma is useless.
All are combined. And finally, if you know the combination, you'll achieve moksha.
Wow. Okay. Now, there was a word that you used, Radha sir. You used Swadharma. Please talk about that.
So again, combination of two words, Swa and Dharma. So Dharma is something which is natural to you. Just like aag or fire's Dharma is to be bright and hot. Okay, so, and if you look at water, the water's Dharma is being, having a flow. If you convert that into a freezer, it will become ice. But then, that's only a conversion.
Yeah.
But you don't call water as ice. Water can be made into ice. But the real nature of water is to have separity, the flow. In the same way, the sweetness is the essence of sugar. So in the same way, if you look at Swadharma is what's your natural state. And if you go to the spiritual aspect, everybody's natural state is Ananda. But you have forgotten that. So from a spiritual angle, why look out for happiness? You are happy. Somebody said, don't work for happiness, work through happiness.
Okay.
Well, that's a spiritual side of it. Now coming back to Swadharma, the nature has gifted everybody something unique. Like for example,
Everybody? Without exception?
Without single exception. There are 8 billion people in the world.
Everybody would be unique in some way.
Absolutely. In fact, nature doesn't like repetition.
Okay.
Like I'll give you an example. If you look at trees, not a single leaf is repeated.
Okay.
And if you look at, human beings, if you look at between you and me, we have the same eyes, hair, eyebrows, but nobody is same. Even identical twins may not be same. There will be something the mother knows, ye alag hai. So what I'm saying, the nature doesn't like equality.
Okay.
It like uniqueness. Variety and uniqueness.
Okay.
Variety is like, okay, सब लोग अलग हैं.
Variety अलग है. Uniqueness यानी कुछ खास
खास है, बिल्कुल. So क्या होता है कि हम ये भूल गए कि हर व्यक्ति में ऐसी एक बात है जो किसी में नहीं है.
तो ये कुछ टीनेजर्स जब फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हैं कि आई एम नॉट लाइक मिस्टर एक्स और मिसेस वाई और मिस वाई, सो उसको ये समझना है कि इफ़ यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई व्हाट इज़ यूनिक इन यू एंड इफ़ यू कैन नर्चर दैट, वर्ल्ड विल कम आफ्टर यू.
In fact, that's the reality. Everybody can be an expert in that field, but you should know which field. Like I chose Chanakya, you are in finance, but the real growth happens when you excel in your field and also collaborate with an expert of other field.
Wonderful, yes. So how does a youngster listening to this podcast identify, एक तो वो स्वधर्म वर्ड उसको समझना ही डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है, ठीक है, कि मेरा ट्रू नेचर क्या है, दैट इज़ व्हाट धर्म, राइट. तो how does any pointers how he or she can identify the swadharma?
Absolutely. So two levels of swadharma. One is your natural state, which is ananda. So I would expect all the youngsters to join some spiritual organization. The reason that whatever, depending on your tradition, sampradaya,
Not religious,
not religious,
spiritual.
spiritual.
There's a difference.
Absolutely.
आप कोई भी religion को मानते हो, religion की कोई बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. We are talking about spirituality.
Absolutely.
But most of the youngsters run away from spirituality. They think it is meant for the rainy day, for the,
In fact, a lot of people have this concept that spirituality is a post-retirement activity.
which is not.
In fact, it is saying that, when do you use let's say, a roadmap after the end of the journey or before you start? So why use Swadharma at the end of the journey? I know of a case where at the age of 70, that person realized naturally he's a doctor, but he became maybe an engineer or something. Can you believe what he did after retirement? He actually studied homeopathy and used to give free medicines.
Wonderful.
So what is happening? His profession was engineering. That's fine. But the Swadharma was to be a doctor. So you see, Swadharma always comes out.
So how does one, Radha sir, how does one identify that? Is it that easy?
In fact, I have a podcast on that.
How did you identify Chanakya?
So
Let's come to that.
there's a podcast on that.
Huh.
One is internal and external method. Okay. So what is, I tried both. So what is the internal method? I'll tell you. All the youngsters or even people who are in midlife, they also have midlife crisis.
Yes.
पैसा बहुत बना लेकिन satisfaction नहीं. I'll tell you what is the internal method. Calmly one day take out 3-4 hours without disturbance, including your mobile. Okay. Just sit down with a pen and paper. So the first method is called, when you sit down, internal method is called negation. So मुझे जिंदगी में क्या नहीं करना है?
What I am not.
What I don't want to do.
Okay.
So you say, I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be an engineer. I don't want to be an artist. Wait, I want to be an artist.
So you are suggesting the law of elimination.
But there's another law also. It's saying that to understand what I'm happy with. Like for example, okay, this is what I don't want to do. And you'll reach, okay, everything I don't want to do, but somewhere, I'm happy being an artist. Now start doing the other way. What are the things that make you happy? Okay, when I play the flute or when I listen to music. Then again go into detail. Okay, so there is an artist in you who is a musician. So please understand that there are different art forms. For example, somebody would be a painter, somebody could be a dancer, somebody could be a poet. That is also art. But let's say you are a part of something that you enjoy in music. Go deeper. In fact, one of the very big experts, Vriddha Sanyog, in fact, he was a director at NCPA, National Center of Performing Arts in Bombay.
Yes.
So, I remember I was learning music at that particular time, and I asked him, so many musicians, I'm only talking about musicians who play instruments. So somebody can be a singer, somebody can be music director. He told me something very interesting, saying that, remember one thing, just listen to different types of music. Just listen, and something will hit you. And say, okay, that connect. For example, if you listen to any film music, or general music also, you'll say, okay, there is one instrument
that I like particularly, that
It
connects.
could be a harp, it could be a flute, it could be a tabla.
So nobody can say I don't like any music. Some music will strike you.
Strike you. Some instrument may strike you. Then you know that's the answer. So it's the internal process of developing what you're good at. It requires a lot of deep introspection and then verified with an expert. मुझे लगता है मैं तबला को अपना जिंदगी में यूज कर सकता हूँ, बट दैट मे बी जस्ट ए फीलिंग. गो टू तबला टीचर आस्किंग, एंड यू नो उनके पास एक दे हैव एन सेंस. बोलते अगर गाना है तो गा के दिखाओ, सुर लगाओ, तबला चलो बजाओ. Okay. So that's the way you internalize it, but there's an external method, and which I tried also.
Okay.
That is actually talking to an astrologer. People don't believe in astrology. Astrology is a science. Unfortunately, the scientist can be wrong. The science is not wrong. So I'll tell you what, one of my astrologer friends, to be very frank, I never believed in astrology. So he looked at my horoscope chart and then he said, okay, you are good in 3 things. I said, okay, it's a natural talent to you. A lot of people don't discover one talent. I discovered 3 talents in me. So he told, number 1, you are a natural writer. 22 books done.
22 books.
Second, I'm a natural speaker. And third is I'm a natural researcher. Natural मतलब धर्म आ गया, स्वधर्म आ गया. So what is God given me? 3 things. Writing. And then I realized one thing, it is because my father is a writer. Not a professional writer, he was an engineer. So writing आ गया, you can see a lot of people listen to my speeches. Thanks for the podcast also.
Yes.
Second, research. I've done a lot of research. Which field to apply was my choice. So if you can verify it with somebody who's an expert. Today there are various methods. For example, fingerprint analysis. There's neurological brain analysis. And for career counseling also they do a lot of, you're good in this field, that field. That's also tools and techniques. But the day you discover your talent, Swadharma, believe me, you'll be so happy. Then you don't have to work at all in your life. Work becomes a joy in every day for you.
Right. And how did you discover Chanakya?
So,
And why did you decide to spend your rest of your life around Chanakya?
you should actually ask my wife.
Unfortunately, she's not there, so.
So I'll tell you one thing, it's not easy. It's, as they say, it's a tapasya. So I'll tell you my process. I was in Kailash Mansarovar. I've been studying Chanakya and all those things, but for me, I've been reading a lot. And Kailash Mansarovar, I remember myself and my wife, we had gone there. And we had a group of 60 doctors from US.
Okay.
And we had a spiritual guru.
Okay.
Also in that group. The first time I saw Kailash, the Parvat as this, a thought came to my mind. I don't know why. Dedicate your life to study and prachar of Artha Shastra. And you think, okay, maybe just some thought, you should become like Amitabh Bachchan, you should become the Prime Minister of India, President of India. I mean, these are weird thoughts. But surprisingly, I was in Kailash, that thought did not leave me. Continuous was coming, Artha Shastra. Of course, I heard about it, studied, but never thought about making it my life mission. But as it's like a background of your mind, it's continuously playing, a tape jaisa. And then Surekha, my wife, was there, just told her, this thought is coming to me. And she told me something very nice, saying that, we are in a divine spiritual place. And if you get this insight in a spiritual place, it could be an ashram, temple, in the place of a guru, whatever, those thoughts are not yours, they're divine thoughts. And Kailash Mansarovar, as you say, our tradition believes, the Shraddha it's the place where Shivji stays. And Shivji has been Ishta Devata.
Okay.
So she asked me, why didn't you speak to Swamiji? Because we had Swami Ishwananji as a part of that group. I went to him and said, this thought is coming to me again and again. He told me, study. I came back and then I started studying. And believe me, since then there is no looking back.
Before that, you were still anyway studying Chanakya?
So it's like reading Chanakya, I would say.
Okay.
Like, you must be reading a lot about many subjects. So I read books. I have a collection of 7,000 books.
Okay.
पढ़ने में कोई बात नहीं, but dedicating a life. Like for example, if you have a book on cricket, you read that book. Did you dedicate your life to cricket by reading a book?
And before this moment, what were you doing?
So, एकदम normal person. I used to work somewhere. I done my MBA and all those things. Management person.
What a waste it would have been if it continued like that.
In fact,
you took a leap. So immediately after Kailash Mansarovar, you decided to cross the line.
So I did a lot of analysis. So somewhere later on I discovered unmixing is also natural to me. So like cooking is natural to every lady because that motherliness makes her cook. But if you get formal training. So what happened, that leap came in because number one, Kailash Yatra. Second thing was that I verified with my gurus. Because आपको लगता है बहुत कुछ लगता है, like children, I want to become a pilot, मुझे ट्रेन चलाना है, but that's all childish questions. But as you grow bigger, you start realizing it's a different method to make a career out of it.
ये ट्रेन चलाने की आपको, this is the second interview today, Radha sir, and in the first interview also, both the interviewer and me both said that we also wanted to drive a train. So he said we have to do some research why every boy when he's growing up wants to drive a train. Although when you grow up, that is the last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, absolutely.
So see, I have one counter question lest I forget. Everybody will not be going to Kailash Mansarovar. आपको स्वधर्म कैलाश मानसरोवर पे मिला. What about those people? Or are we supposed to go?
In fact, I've written this in detail in one of my books called Chanakya in You.
Chanakya in You. Okay.
So that's another popular book of mine among the young generation, especially the college youth. Because I actually said, how do you discover your Swadharma? So you may do all the analysis.
You have written that in that book.
Yeah.
Chanakya in You.
Yeah.
You told how to discover your Swadharma.
Yes.
And Swadharma for the modern generation, let me tell you, what you are good at. What is your, so this is what in management terminology you call SWOT analysis.
Absolutely.
आपका strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threat, आपका strength क्या है, आपका weakness क्या है, and you keep working on your strength. जो आपका strong point है उसको इतना fine कर दो, इतना 100 को sharpen कर दो, that you become a leader in your field.
Absolutely.
Like why I made, many people say, why are you such a big fan of Warren Buffett? I said I had one rule, कि मैं जो भी subject सीखूंगा, let me learn it from the best teacher on planet Earth.
Wow.
तो सिर्फ कर्ण का एक एग्जाम्पल है. कर्ण फर्स्ट वेंट टू गुरु द्रोण. सॉरी आई एम टेकिंग अवे योर टाइम, बट आई लाइक टू शेयर. कर्ण वेंट टू गुरु द्रोण एंड द्रोण रिजेक्टेड हिम फॉर वॉट एवर रीजन ही रिजेक्टेड. सो ही वेंट टू गुरु द्रोण's teacher. So he went to Parshurama. Okay, he said if you have rejected me, like if I come to you and say, Radha sir, teach me about Chanakya, the next person I want to go is somebody whom you have learned from.
Absolutely.
राइट. तो कर्ण के अंदर वो कितनी इच्छा शक्ति थी कि वन ऑफ द बेस्ट टीचर्स इन द वर्ल्ड, वो नहीं किया तो मैं उसके टीचर के पास जाता हूँ. वॉज नोन टू टीच वेरी फ्यू पीपल ऑन प्लैनेट अर्थ. परशुराम वुड नॉट मेक, एंड ही हैड टू लाई टू परशुराम फॉर विच ही पेड अ प्राइस. बट उस कर्ण का एक क्वालिटी को तो हमको तारीफ करना चाहिए, दैट ही हैड दैट हंगर टू लर्न from the best in the world.
Absolutely.
Why go to second best? And in today's time of social media, when Warren Buffett is available as much to me as anybody else, any child with to learn from the best.
Absolutely.
And then you become the best.
The world best.
World's best. Why only restricted to your class or your year?
Absolutely.
Right? So, sorry, where were we?
We're talking about a topic about Swadharma and how do you discover it. So coming back, you can do all this analysis, but let me tell you, in the book Chanakya in You, I've written this statement called Call of the Rishis.
Okay.
So there is some instant in your life, everybody has got an instant where you connect with nahi. That moment, I say it's a God's calling or Rishi's calling. तो मेरे लिए suddenly वो चाणक्य. Maybe Chanakya called me in a different format. आ जाओ चलो मेरा काम शुरू करो.
You feel connected to him?
A lot. See, because the way I understood Chanakya, I'm not telling I'm the world best. My teachers are better than me, which you said rightly. Dr. Gangadhar Nayak, Dr. Shubhada Joshi madam. So two of my teachers who taught me Arthashastra. When I listened to them, I'm nothing in front of them. But I realized one thing that I can look at Chanakya very differently. Therefore, there is a saying that there are 3 types of kripas in your life. You want to excel in any field. One is called Atma Kripa. You have to grace and bless yourself. Like you have to put hard efforts. So Kripa is grace.
Kripa is blessing.
Blessing. But have you blessed yourself? And blessing is not ho jayega. Of course, that's a very emotional way.
So believe in yourself. Completely.
Believe in yourself, but work hard.
But work hard.
For example, you decide to go to Warren Buffett. That is Atma Kripa. Then comes Guru Kripa. Warren Buffett answered your question. Right?
Yes.
Third is very interesting. It's called Shastra Kripa. What is Shastra Kripa? You don't study the book. The book reveals itself to you.
Wow.
So when I study the Arthashastra, I can look at it from various different types. I feel as if Chanakya is speaking to me.
And how does Shastra Kripa happen? I know Guru's grace is supposed to happen. We are becoming spiritual here. But Guru, only when he graces, then you get the blessing. And the first one we have to initiate. Okay. And in fact, I can give one answer to that. They say when a student is ready, the teacher appears.
And when the teacher appears, you will get Shastra Kripa.
Is it so?
100%. So the teacher, a good teacher, will tell you, okay, study this, do this. That's when the Shastra opens out. And by the way, please understand the difference between reading and studying. I told this, I had already read Artha Shastra, but I had to go to a Gurukul to study Artha Shastra.
The reading is something superficial.
Like for example,
Listening and hearing.
Absolutely. In fact, Warren Buffett, everybody knows, they must have read books, but you landed up over there.
In fact, yeah, I landed up over there. I read about it. I have taken more than 120 seminars on investment secrets of Warren Buffett. Okay. So, उसको बोलते हैं ना, मैंने उसको आत्मसात किया है. And I am in my practice as an MFI registered mutual fund distributor, I put it into practice in my own investment portfolio and in the investment portfolio of the 1,000 own clients whose money I manage.
Wow.
तो उसको उतारा, जैसे आपने चाणक्य को नीचे उतार दिया. You had great teachers, but you are the one who reintroduced Chanakya to the world in 2000s, in this century.
In fact, I would use a Bhagavad Gita shloka here, Nimitta Matrena.
Nimit Matra, yes.
Chanakya had to come to this world in a different format. I was used as an instrument.
Yes.
But I'm happy that I'm used as an instrument. Jeevan safal ho gayi.
Right.
I mean, I've seen, that a lot of people have written on Chanakya, studied on Chanakya, but why am I number one right now? And somebody was telling me, today morning I came from Kolkata. And as you also said, when I look at Chanakya as a name, your name comes first.
Yes.
But it's not like I'm the only person, let me tell you. There are so many. But this is where your Shastra Kripa comes. I'm able to simplify it. But so I was saying that every person can find their Swadharma. If you actually have all the three. Atma Kripa, believe in yourself, put the hard work, find a teacher, mentor, guru, study under his or her guidance, and seva bhi karo. Don't say, mere ko kya mila. And seva is not just giving Guru Dakshina. Like for example, you're taking the concept of Warren Buffett, that's also a seva. He is a teacher.
Yes.
And a teacher is the one who also has got not just good students, but good teachers. So the greatest seva you'll do for Warren Buffett is not paying for his seminars.
Yes.
Actually taking his work forward.
And irony is, he has never told me to that. In fact, he doesn't know also that I am doing that. See how much he has influenced me. And when I talk, people say I have influenced them. And only 1% of those people might turn up to be my, of any financial use, they might turn up to be my client. But that is not the purpose. The purpose is there is one good man sitting there at the age of 93, still trying to teach to the world. Why can't I be his protege and teach whatever I learnt of him? Problem is in Warren Buffett को misquote ज़्यादा किया जाता है और quote कम किया जाता है. Now it has become a fashion. तो कई बार मैंने ऐसे quotes देखे which were not Warren Buffett's, but people attributed to Warren Buffett wrongly. Absolutely. Okay, so then it is my job, whatever little I know about that fellow, to teach the right things to people.
Absolutely.
And Swadharma and as you said, ki Nimit Matra. So see, a teacher teaches to 50 students. Same chapter, same topic, the teacher is teaching the same thing, but all 50 interpret in a different way.
Absolutely.
So if you are self-motivated, you will learn it probably, and if you are blessed, you will learn it in the right way. So that's a wonderful concept. I mean, Chanakya के बारे में आपके पहले भी, how many people would have learned about it? But you took it and you ran with it. And then you now become a torchbearer of that subject.
Not only that, I'll tell you something that makes me really happy. And you said you are also a teacher. Warren Buffett is a teacher.
I am a born teacher, yes.
You said that the teacher's happiness is when your students do well.
When your students do better than you.
I'll tell you something. One of my students, there are many students, but giving just one example, Pranav Patel. Okay, he is teaching Chanakya as a professor in IIT Kharagpur.
Okay.
Well, think of, I've never studied in IIT. And he is a full-time professor teaching Chanakya in IIT Kharagpur. So think about the influence.
Actually, he was your student?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are so many of my students like this, every field. They are actually taking the Chanakya work forward. So I say the teacher is not the one who creates more students, but creates more teachers.
Yes. That is how it will multiply.
Right.
And Radha sir, you heard about Gargi in Ramayana.
Yes.
Gargi Vachak Navi. So Gargi was a Rishika, a lady teacher at that time,
Yes.
who would challenge in Raja Janak's court
Yes.
the best of the best brains in the world.
World.
And it was Sita ji who actually selected Gargi as a teacher
Okay.
over Gautam Rishi, over Rishi Yagnavalkya.
Okay.
Because she said she is one bold lady who could question anybody. And there was a time when she questioned Yagnavalkya for a whole day after everybody else had questioned Yagnavalkya. And then when she realized that she is wrong, she accepted the mistake. So Sita ji approaches Gargi and says, "Okay, I want you to be my teacher." And Gargi says, "See, I lost the battle. I lost the debate. 1000 सहस्त्र गाय दांव पे लगी थी और जो जीतता डिबेट में तो that's what Sita ji said, that's what I liked about you. You first challenged the best brain in the world, and then when you realize it is your mistake, I mean the Yagnavalkya is a much better teacher, you also accepted it. Only then you can grow. That's why I want you to be my teacher.
Wow. Wow.
So I am also looking for Gargis of the world, right? So teacher, I mean, and I think teaching, I mean, when you teach, when we teach, we learn while we are teaching.
Absolutely.
It doesn't stop there.
Correct.
This podcast is also come out of that. As we was just sharing that when you do a podcast, you are letting the knowledge flow to everybody in the world.
The best part about the podcast is that you can reach out to many Eklavyas who can't come
Wow,
directly.
yeah. Me and Warren Buffett are like, he's like Drone and I'm like Eklavya.
So you are now Drone, and there are many Eklavyas.
I hope so. You,
So all
just
the
like
listeners,
you.
please remember, get in touch with him.
Okay, now last part, Radha sir, turntable. So turntable is you question me.
What would be your one advice to the startup culture in India?
Okay. So don't raise money for the heck of raising it. The moment you take money, so we are living in a world, I am also a small angel investor. We are living in a world where if you raise the hand and if you can speak well and if you can talk well, money will come to you. But remember, it is somebody else's money. Don't be happy just because you raised money. As I tell my clients, the day you give me money, my responsibility started and not ended. Difference between me and let's say some other guy जिसको सिर्फ बिजनेस ही एक्वायर करना है एंड आई एम इन अ प्रैक्टिस नॉट इन अ बिजनेस इसकी पैसा आ गया तो वो क्लाइंट को भूल जाता है एंड व्हाट आई से इज माय रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इंक्रीजेज मैनीफोल्ड व्हेन यू गिव मी मनी
Wow.
द डे हैज जस्ट स्टार्टेड फॉर मी सो सिमिलरली इफ यू आर इन अ स्टार्टअप वर्ल्ड ओके हाथ खड़े करोगे तो पैसा आ जाएगा पैसे के साथ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आएगी एज दे से इन वन ऑफ द सुपर हीरो मूवीज ना with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility. So if you don't need the money, don't raise it. Raising the money doesn't mean आपने झंडा गाड़ दिया है. It comes with responsibility. It comes with lot of. Sometimes it comes with too much of a stress that you don't want. And don't raise much more than what you need.
Wow. Wow.
पैसा मिल रहा है टेबल पे इसलिए मत उठा लो. Equity है तो you don't have to return it back. But if you take money, if I ever take money for my startup, let's say, okay, I'm a self-contained person, but let's say tomorrow I started a startup, I'll make it a point. So if you are investing in a startup is not legally bound to pay you back. अगर उसका business डूब गया तो बोलेगा धंधा डूब गया. And I know many startup guys who start a startup, raise money, business खत्म, another startup, third startup. Naturally अगर business डूब गया तो ठीक है. If I ever raise money, I'll endeavor to pay every penny back.
Absolutely.
Otherwise don't take money.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
और अगर पैसा रेस कर रहे हो और किसी से पैसा ले रहे हो तो you are legally bound. Even if you are not
Morally
legally bound, you are morally bound.
True.
So this is one advice.
Beautiful.
दूसरे का पैसा, so there's a book, other people's money. That is a Western concept. इंडिया का concept ये नहीं है. आपने जैसे बोला कि अगर मैंने खुद भी पैसा कमाया है तो देन आई एम बाउंड टू गिव इट टू द सोसाइटी. तो ये तो मैं आपका पैसा ले रहा हूँ. लीगली अगर आपको नहीं देना है इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मॉरली नहीं देना है. और वो कहीं ना कहीं इट रिवर्ट्स बैक टू. डोंट रेज मनी फॉर द हैक ऑफ रेजिंग मनी.
Wow. And moral responsibility to make sure you multiply it and give it back.
Yes, you multiply it and give it back to the best of your ability and intention.
I'll tell you a trade secret. Why am I India's #1 best-selling business author? In 22 books. I make sure.
And this is the 22nd book.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
sure.
writing 4 more.
Right. Oh, you're writing 4 more. Help me write 1.
Sure.
Okay.
And many more.
Yeah.
So the secret is that when publishers come to me, you'll be surprised. My first commitment is that they should make money first. A publisher who also made a lot of money.
A publisher who is laying his energy on you, putting his money on you. If they don't make money, you don't want to make.
Not only that, if they made money, I'm happy and I'll also make money. But if I only make money and they lose money, they'll never come to me again, second time.
So I always say, Radha sir, I'll just interrupt, that the field of money management, it's a fiduciary relationship. So in the world of biology, there are 2 types of there's a parasitic relationship between 2 organisms, and then there is a symbiotic. If I take you back to school, in biology there was one chapter where there was this bird. So one photo was a leech is sucking the blood from you. This is parasitic. तो let's say कोई एजेंट है जिसने कमीशन कमा लिया और आपका पैसा डुबा दिया. All these Ponzi operators and all, आपसे पैसा लिया, पैसा डुबा दिया. This is a parasitic relationship. Another is symbiotic. So there is this photo where there's a crocodile with the mouth open. There's a small bird who comes and takes out food from the crocodile's teeth. The crocodile cannot clear its own teeth. And the crocodile will never eat the bird because it knows it is clearing its teeth. But the food which is lying in between the teeth of the crocodile is actually food for the bird. So the bird is also getting meal and the crocodile is getting the teeth clean.
Wow.
And hence the crocodile, which can eat the bird like this, never eats the bird. This is symbiotic relationship.
Wow.
So wealth management is symbiotic.
Yeah, wow.
Only if you make money, only after that I want to make money. That too this much.
Beautiful.
So Chanakya said na, tax कैसे collect करना चाहिए?
थोड़ा सा like the
Nectar.
honeybee.
Like the honeybee.
Beautiful.
Right. Last 2 questions if you want to.
Sure.
If you want to question.
Okay. So how do you pass on this lifelong, I would say, wisdom collected, others and yours own, to the next generation?
So podcast, social media is one. The only reason I started this podcast is many of my clients, my friends came to me and said, whatever we have discussed in a closed room. So right now you are discussing with me, you are spreading your knowledge. We don't know how many people it will reach. And if one gentleman, one Karna, one Arjuna, one Eklavya listens to it and benefits from it, I passed on the knowledge.
Wow, beautiful. The last question from my side. How do you relate wealth and spirituality?
Oh my God. If I give an answer to that question, people will think that there's no harm in it. I am a very spiritual person, not religious, spiritual. It is intertwined. Wealth and spirituality is intertwined. See, the Shastras say Lakshmi. In fact, there's a wonderful concept you would have heard. There are 8 types of Lakshmi. पूरा अष्ट लक्ष्मी. पूरा वर्ल्ड एक ही लक्ष्मी के पीछे भागता है. वो तो एक है, बाकी 7 नहीं चाहिए क्या आपको?
We only go behind Dhana Lakshmi.
We only go with Dhana Lakshmi.
True.
Okay. So there's Dhanya Lakshmi.
Yeah.
So I've got wealth, but I've got diabetes. मैं दुनिया का हर फूड खा सकता हूँ, खरीद सकता हूँ, लेकिन खा नहीं सकता. डायबिटीज़ है, बीपी है, ये है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल. ओके. तो देन यू नॉट गॉट दैट धान्य लक्ष्मी. यू नो व्हाट इज राज लक्ष्मी? राज लक्ष्मी इज whatever I tell people listen to me and believe in me.
Wow.
So what is our beloved Prime Minister? He's got a lot of Raj Lakshmi. Maybe उनका धन्य लक्ष्मी नहीं है, but Raj Lakshmi है. So all the popular, so people like Amitabh Bachchan, right? So there are certain people who are all the leaders.
Right.
So leaders are the people who have Raj Lakshmi. घर में, बाहर, okay? So बाला साहेब ठाकरे और whoever you want to talk. वो जो बोलते हैं लोग उसको सुनते हैं. There are some people जिसके कोई बात नहीं सुनता. तो it's devoid of Raj Lakshmi.
Wow.
Then there is Santan Lakshmi. There's other word for it. Okay. So you are very prosperous. You created wealth and all, but your children don't listen to you. ऐसे there are Ashta Lakshmi. Now you ask me about spirituality and wealth. Beyond a point, the wealth has been bestowed on you so that you can do good to others.
Wow.
beyond a point, what is so if you talk to multi-billionaires, okay, see, beyond a point they are going to eat the same food as you and I.
Yes.
क्या अलग खाना खाएगा? You will go to some better restaurants, some very unique restaurants and all, but फिर घूम फिर के you will eat what you can digest.
True.
ठीक है? They'll maybe wear some better clothes, okay. Beyond a point, you and I can now all we buy the same branded clothes as they buy. थोड़ा लेबल अलग हो जाता है. और तो ऐसा कोई क्लॉथ नहीं है कि ये नाइट ड्रेस आपने पहना तो आपको नींद अच्छे से आएगा, और ये बेड पे सोए तो यू कैन स्लीप टाइट, यू विल गेट गुड स्लीप. Those things, best things in the world, is you would agree, cannot be bought. So Lakshmi has been bestowed on you so that you can give it to the underprivileged and raise them up, raise their standard of living. So I believe wealth and spirituality beyond a point are intertwined.
Wow.
And if you have an intention of giving, you'll be blessed so that you can have more.
Wow.
That's my belief.
Oh, that's a beautiful answer. Thank you so much. It's given me so much spiritual dimension.
Yes, pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Radha sir. It was a wonderful thing. I'll urge everybody to buy this book, your 22nd book. Please take it to 51 and then 101. I don't think our podcast, the interview can end with one session. Right, Radha sir?
This is only part one.
This is only part one. Okay, so we'll meet on popular demand. We'll meet for part
Maybe
two.
we'll rub shoulders at the airport.
Done. And we can start the podcast then and there.
Why not?
Why not? Thank you, Radha sir. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the AUM Finance podcast. Remember that all investments are subject to market and other risks, and one should read offer docs and other documents carefully before investing.